I'm going to try to show some of the things I've learned by turning a picture like this into a drawing like this. I use shortcuts of keys a lot, and I'll try to keep you informed about what I'm using. Let's start by starting a new file. It doesn't really matter what size you make. I'm using 8.5 by 3.5 inches, and I use inches because that's what I'm familiar with. So we're going to import a picture that is, I've already straightened a little bit. This was a good side view, and if you it doesn't really matter what size you put it in there. Now, I've already straightened this picture a little bit because it wasn't quite level, and I'm going to put a guideline in here. And you put guidelines in by just dragging from down or across from the ruler. If you'll notice, when I put the guide here on the roof, it's because of the perspective, it's not a straight on shot. It's a little lower here and a little higher here, but it doesn't really matter. And then I'm going to put a guideline at the front and a guideline at the back, and a guideline. I use lots of guidelines just because it's easier. But first, let's draw the outline of the roof, and you don't really need to be all that accurate at this point. And I'm going to use the guideline as a reference for the top. So you grab your pen tool, and the shortcut to that is P, and then just start drawing around the part you want to trace. And let's go down and end it at that line, and then we're go all the way around the top. We can come all the way over here. Hold the shift key down and you'll get the hand, so you can just drag it, and then that's the mirror right there. And it always helps to end at the starting point, that way you get a closed loop. And if you go up here to outline view mode, you'll get rid of that, and you can see what it looks like. And then we grab, using the letter A, it will change it to the node tool, and you can start getting a lot closer to. Let's put another point in here and drag that up there. Actually, we can delete that point, and let's get the handles out here. If you click on the node, if it is a curve, you can get the handle, and if you hold the alternate key down, you can drag that around until it matches pretty close. If you don't hold the alternate key down and you have a curve out each side of that node, well, it didn't show up that way. A lot of times this one will change the same, will change the one on the other side. Let's bring this up, and that's not right, so we can do that. And since we're straightening things up, I'm going to bring this all the way up here to that guideline that's the same as the front, and then I can bring that up and just get it pretty close. You can change it all later. It doesn't really Well, you see there, I drug that line and it changed it on the other side. So let's do that. Bring that up here. Actually, let's take it over to this seam in the bodywork. We'll put another node there. Now if you hold the alternate key down and click on the node, it will straighten it again. And if you hold the alternate key down, you can play around with these things to get them the way you want them. That one I want to be straight, so I hold the alternate key down and click on that little wing, and I've got snapping turned on. If you hold the shift or the alternate key down, snapping will go off for that little bit of time. Let's get that looking a little bit more like the roof line really looks like. Let's bring this down here because there's actually a little corner right there. Zoom in and out. It really helps if you have a really sharp picture, because you can zoom in a lot farther. Bring that down to, I don't have a guideline. We need a guideline there. Hit the V key and you get your move tool back. The A tool gets the nodes back. That looks like it's got a little bit of a curve in it. This can all be changed later if you decide you don't like it. Okay, this needs to come down to that line. This needs to move down a little bit. Okay, we've got the roof line, and now let's just, for the heck of it, fill it in to see what it looks like. And if you hit the I key, and you can take a sample from somewhere, and then we, so that looks pretty good. Okay, now let's draw these stripes. I think I've got my guideline just a little bit too high. And let's put some more guidelines in on that. Let's start with this red one. Need another guideline. A gets us to the nodes so we can do some playing around with this. Get it looking kind of like the picture anyway. Let's get rid of the outline and letter I will get us a eyedropper and change that to some color of red. We can change that later. Let's draw the center line. The P gets the pen tool. And get rid of the outline on that. Let's go ahead and draw the yellow stripe while we're here. So we hit escape so it starts the pen tool over again. Well, I lost what we were working on. That yellow comes all the way up to here. Well, I messed that up, didn't I? It's easily fixable. Let's bring that one down there and bring this one up here. Okay. I think we can get rid of that one and make this one big sweeping curve. Let's try getting rid of that one and hold the alternate key down and you can make all that one big sweeping curve. Now we can get these corners lined up on these. Hold the shift button down and select that one, and we get the nodes for both of them, and you can drag this one over there and drag this one down here and get these things all lined up a lot better. select them both, hold the shift key down, and it'll move straight. You can get those lines lined up just perfectly. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Let's make round these little corners off a little bit and hit the letter C, and it will change it to corner, and you can drag that in. So it's rounded, and if you look up here, you drove that corner to 0.0852 radius, and we can get the other one. And I forgot what I said. 0.0852. Okay, now you want to, so that it will change appropriately when you resize the whole thing, you want to bake the appearance of those corners. Okay, that looks not quite right there. Had the corner tool, not the node tool. Let's line those two up. So you pick two of them. You can pick two by holding the shift key down when you select them, and then you can align those two up with the leftmost one by using that button. Okay, let's go down here, see how this looks. Okay, let's grab that one and line them up. Let's line all four of those up. Okay, now let's we need to start grouping and labeling things so that I don't get lost red one. It's a red stripe. Orange stripe. Yellow stripe. Select all three, holding the shift key down, and do a right click, and you want to group those, and then you can name that group side stripes. Okay, now let's pick the orange stripe and make it orange. Letter I and select yellow one. Letter I is still selected, so we have the side stripes in there. We need to name this the roof. Now I always like to go down here just above the picture and draw a rectangle and make it some color so I can see what how things are looking. Okay, then we can get rid of that and get back to our picture.